日本時間7月20日、カブスの今永昇太投手は、本拠地でのレッドソックス戦に先発登板をしました。この日の今永投手は、7回96球を投げ、5安打、5奪三振、1四球、無失点の好投を見せ、チームの勝利に貢献し、7勝目を挙げました。この日は、試合中に解説者が、今永は素晴らしい選手で、シカゴの人々はすっかり彼を愛しています。話してみれば、すぐにわかりますよ。彼は本当に素敵な人物です。と、今永投手の人柄を紹介しました。また、試合後に今永投手の着ていたカブスの T シャツに注目した記者が、カブスの勝利の T シャツには、子熊じゃなくて、君の写真を載せるべきじゃない?と、今永投手をいじる場面も。ここからは、その様子を見ていきます。
Oversimplifying to think like an outing like the one he had before the break, coming off an injury can help him and kind of fully convince himself he's healthy. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I don't think he had to convince himself he's healthy. I think he pitched really well on Sunday in New York. So, I mean, pitchers love outings like where they dominate.
Yeah.
So, like that's a good outing, right? So just that's fun. But he's healthy. It wasn't that. I think, yeah. Look, when you miss 6 or 7 weeks, to expect to come back kind of like in peak form, it happens, but it's hard to do, right? So, but really good pitchers. He pitched really well for 3 starts. You know what I mean? So. And that's also the nature of pitching, man. It's, you get locked in for 90 pitches, and the next start doesn't promise you anything. You gotta get locked in again and pitch well against a good lineup.
His strikeouts have been down. Was it encouraging to see that swing and miss back?
Yeah, I mean, I thought his split finger was really good on Sunday in New York. Thought it was a really good lineup. So I think Shota's so good at just getting people out that but you go through 7 innings and 90 pitches, like that's just an exceptional outing against one of the best offenses in baseball.
Yeah, Sean, with the fact that his strikeouts are pretty low, does that give you encouragement that he's on the right track?
I think it's. I mean, look, low strikeouts are good signs. High walks, good signs. Sometimes walks can go down when you're swinging it better, actually, because you're just squaring up pitches. But I think, it's a trait Matt has. So I don't know if I ever. I don't think I expected Matt to strike out a lot. So encouragement. I mean, I think it's a trait that he's going to have. That's going to be pretty stable, yeah.
3-1 pitch to Anthony. He'll take it, and a mature eye there against Imanaga as he draws the first 3 pass from the left-hander tonight. Wayno, you pointed this out. You thought this was cool after he gets the splitter strikeout.
He's like the Michael Jackson Thriller right here. Look at it. Little. Oh. Like he got his splitter to freeze in time right there.
1 on and nobody out. The splitter's been effective early. Story waves and misses at a first pitch splitter.
He's got 12 swing and misses already today. He's got his stuff rocking.
And that little freeze there too that you were pointing out, it's part of the personality of Imanaga. He has become a fan favorite quickly.
He's great.
People love him in Chicago already.
I've had a chance to talk to him. He is great. Yeah. Hilarious, funny, has so much fun pitching, just enjoying his time. It helps when you pitch good and your team's 31-10 when you start.
Story lifts one down the right field line. Tucker giving chase, and that'll get out of play foul.
I love all the little things he's done today too. The first pitch, swing, split, swing and miss. The next pitch, an effect pitch. Get them moving their feet. Work it off the plate. Get him aware of the inside plate, open up the outside half. There's all these little nuances of pitching. He's doing so well tonight.
You heard Craig Counsell say he's a tinkerer, right? He's always thinking about little ways, nuanced ways to try to improve what has already been a great year and a half in Major League Baseball. 8 years with the Yokohama Bay Stars, 2-time Japanese All-Star. All-Star last year, a 15-game winner as a rookie. And he gets another strikeout on that splitter. 4 of his 5 Ks coming on that disappearing split. Well, he gave a little personality to Shota Imanaga. How about this from Kyle Tucker, the usually stoic right fielder, just giving that ball's like 5 rows into the seats.
That's great.
That's funny too.
Yeah, when you're 58 and 39, you can have fun like that.
That's true. One thing I want to point out about Imanaga real quick. Watch his little pause as he gets going to throw every pitch. He's got his own set of mechanics. It's totally unique. And so many times I see coaches cookie-cutting pitchers across. If you look at all the best pitchers in the big leagues, they do something funky, something to keep the hitter's timing or balance off. Look at Scherzer and Kershaw through the years. They throw funky. Look at Chris Sale. It's funky. John Lester. It's funky. You got to have a little funk.
Watch this here, little pose.
Oh. Look at that, showman.
Ball and strike on Yoshida.
Shota the showman.
Very much so.
And remember, there was questions when he came over on Imanaga, what kind of pitcher he would be. People were saying he would be a 5th starter. He's been a 1 for the Cubs since he's gotten here. Does his fastball play? It's only 91, 92.
Yoshida, 1 hop, second base. Horner to Swanson, who was off the bag and then had to recover to make sure he retired Anthony. That'll retire the side in the 4th.
Second half is off to a good start for the Cubs as they rattle off another win, now taking 2 from the Red Sox in this 6-0 win. Welcome on in to Cubs Postgame Live, presented by Yuengling, America's oldest brewery. It's Elise Menaker, Ryan Sweeney. And Ryan, I mean, you get a little bit of everything. Kind of similar to yesterday, some scoring early, some scoring late. It was a Bomsky bash and Shota Imanaga being Shota.
Shota's arguably one of his best starts of the season.
Yeah.
I know he had 7 innings pitched, only 1 run against the Yankees in his last start, but tonight, 7 innings pitched, 0 runs given up. We'll talk about him in a little bit, but how about the offensive explosions?
Shota on the day, 7, 5 hits, no runs, a walk, and 5 strikeouts. And so, you know, we were talking about that Ref Snyder, off the top, double.
Yeah.
And early, Shota was working out of some traffic, but he really settled in, and that splitter was working for him.
The thing that's most impressive to me is he's a pitcher that can adapt in any situation. I think a couple starts ago we saw him where he threw 84 pitches, but he threw 60-plus strikes. So, and then in certain situations where he's not throwing strikes, look, when you look at his last 2 outings, he still had 5 Ks and 6 Ks, but only 1 base on balls. But what it was tonight to me, and you saw it here in the first inning, it was the off-speed pitches. It was the sweeper and it was the split finger. He threw his fastball a decent amount and he could elevate it, but when he needed that strikeout, he had a lot of swing and miss on the slider and the split finger away. It didn't matter, lefty, righty, whatever it is. These guys were just not picking it up. He kept it down in the zone. He has that big difference between his fastballs 91, 92, and then that split finger and sliders, you know, probably around 83, 84. So you see there in his 13 starts here this season, 2.40 ERA and that whip below 1. He's going out there. He has 75 innings to pitch. And the thing that sticks out to me is the quality starts. He keeps going out there, putting up multiple innings. You want a guy, you want a starter that can go deep into ball games. And Shota, the last 2 outings since coming off the IL, being able to throw 7 innings pitched with guys being hurt is very positive to keep that bullpen throwing to a minimum.
He had 10 whiffs on the splitter, to your point. And there's always a question when you come back off the IL, like, are you going to be who you were before that? There's no guarantee. Shota's certainly proving that he is still that guy and that you can count on him.
Yeah, oh, it was a very similar start. You know, I thought he had to make some big pitches in the first inning to put up a 0, and then, you know, as the game, he just got better as the game went and was just excellent. You know, excellent command of his pitches. Split was good. Fastball was in the right spot, and just a masterful performance again. Yeah, I mean, John told me the record, you know, that he's of his starts when I think it's 32-10. John said that's you know, that's ace level record right there. That's as good as it gets. So he's pitching at a really high level, and he feels like he's got kind of into this groove, into kind of mid-season form now. And as we look back, we get like a benefit of just having a little less innings under his belt, and that's a great thing.
相手がどう打つかっていうのはこちらとしてはコントロールできにくいので、自分がいい球投げても相手がより上回ったスイングをする可能性もありますし、でも僕ができることは自分の強みを生かしたボールを投げ続けることなので、今日はたまたまそれがフライアウトになってくれてよかったですけど、どんどんその技術を磨いていく必要があると思います。
Yeah, so we as pitchers, we can't control how the hitter is going to swing. We may have our best stuff, but they might have a better swing. And today, like the results were yes, there are more pop-ups. But it could change on a different day. So I think I just need to continue to work on building my skills to be able to, have my best stuff and try to beat the hitters.
Seems like the splitter's really been working, especially the last two starts. Is there something about it lately that you're really trusting with it?
ここ何回かの登板、スプリットの調子がすごいいいんですけど、その鍵か、要因などありますか？
スプリットが良くない時もあったんですけど、その度にピッチングコーチ3人といろんな議論をして、でブルペンのたびに話し合って、いつしか試合が発表会のようですごい楽しいような気分になる瞬間があって、本当にそれはピッチングコーチのおかげだと思いますし、今日もすごく自分が教えてもらったことをその場でできるかっていうすごい楽しめた登板でした。
Yes, I think there were times where the splitter wasn't as good in the past, and I think talking to the three pitching coaches, and we have discussions, and just every time with the bullpen too, it almost felt like kind of like a show and tell where you kind of work on something, and then the game becomes that time to showcase what you have. So I think today, it was really fun. I felt like my splitter was working.
Over 75% of the time when he's pitched for the Cubs the last 2 years, the team has won. John gave us that number today. Shouldn't your picture be on that T-shirt rather than a little Cubs man?
その山田投手が登板した試合、ここ2年間で75% 以上チームが勝ってるらしいんですけど、あなたが今着ている服の熊の代わりにあなたがいるべきじゃないですかと。
すごくそういう数字が、残っていること自体はすごく光栄な気もしたんですけど、僕が悪い投球をしたとしてもサポートしてくれるメンバーが選手スタッフ、そして通訳もいますし、僕にとって悪い登板をするということが怖い存在ではなくなったので、いつも思い切って試合に臨める、それがそういう結果につながってたとしたら、これほど嬉しいことはないですね。
Yeah, I mean, those numbers, I mean, it's an honor. But I think, obviously, there are times where you don't have a great outing. And I think that's where, showcases the great teammates, the staff, the interpreter. And I think that's kind of given me the strength to be like, okay, I'm not scared if I do have a bad outing because I know there's people around me who's going to pick me up. So I think it really just shows more about my support group and all my teammates.
Can you walk us through that first inning? You give up the first pitch double and kind of solo in. What was the key to strand that runner and kind of, lock yourself into that first round?
その初回のちょっと思考について、その先頭打者が二塁打を打たれて、それでも落ち着いてその回を切り抜けたっていうので、何を考えていたんですか？
まず、初球を打たれるっていうのはすごく精神的に打撃を受けるもので、でもその後も決して無失点ではなくて1点取られたとしてもアウトを積み重ねることの方が大事だっていうそういうマインドで投げていたので、僕にとってはそれが投げミスにつながらない考え方なので 1点を取られてもいいんだっていう気持ちで投げた結果がゼロに収まったので、それが自分をコントロールするコツですね。
Yeah, I think that inning, it's mentally tough when that first pitch gets hit, especially for a double. But I think in that moment, I was thinking about, it's okay if I give up a run. It's more important to continue to stack up all the outs. And so I think because I had that mentality going into it, I think as a result, I was able to strain it. But I think the important thing is, even if it's okay if you give up a run, just continue to do your best and continue to stack the outs.
Counsel said that you pitched like an ace of the staff. With all humility, can you accept that as being the number one on a team with very good other pitchers as well?
カンセル監督が、山永投手が、そこのローテーションのエースっていうので、それは、自分は素晴らしい投手がいる中で納得できることですか？
決して自分に自信を持っていないわけではないんですけど、それでもこの先発の中でいつもアドバイスをくれるJ もボイド、スティールも今チームに合流してますけども、本当に、僕にとってはメジャーで成功している選手の話を聞くっていうのは自分のキャリアにつながるので、そういう人たちに囲まれてるっていうことが自分をより心地よくさせてくれるので、そういうみんなの存在があるおかげだなと思ってます。
I mean, I'll say, I'm not going to say I don't have confidence in myself, but I think having great pitchers around me, whether it's, J-Mo or Boyd or Steely, who's, with us right now, I think just talking to them, getting advice from them, I think it's been very comfortable. So I think that's just, again, it kind of goes back to my support group and all the other guys.
You mentioned Shota. What's the mentality driving to the ballpark, into the ballpark?
Yeah, I think, honestly, our bullpen, our starters, they've been so good for us this year, keeping us in games, letting us win that 2-1 game, coming in, shutting down. I think we feel pretty good showing up with whoever's on the mound, but you get a guy like Shota who's, he's one of the best pitchers in the world. Anytime that you get him on the mound, you got a good shot to win.
いかがでしたでしょうか？このチャンネルでは日本人メジャーリーガーなどを中心に野球情報をお届けしています。この動画が良かったら高評価、チャンネル登録をよろしくお願いいたします。今回も最後までご覧いただきありがとうございました。それではまた次の動画でお会いしましょう。